Another day, another heinous debacle here inside the Bitcoin chart. After losing support at our local 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, the question now becomes, has another crash just potentially been confirmed? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. Finally, the volatility has come back inside this market. Finally, there has been a move made in this chess game that's been playing out over the past 2 weeks. Bitcoin has been trading in two distinct sideways trading channels here that have really made up most of the action here over the past 2 weeks. But now we did have a breakdown, and my friends, we've entered a very critical zone here. As you can see, I have it outlined for us all along the way here. And the question becomes, is this new range that we've just entered going to actually be bullish? Are the bulls going to take a stand in here, defend it, and look to climb to new highs? Or have we really breached the point of no return? Or are we teetering on the brink of no return right here, right now? So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. Clearly, what wound up happening is that we wound up getting rejected off the underbelly of this box. Now, this was expected from a bearish standpoint, in my opinion. The problem that we had here is that the volume was so low in here, right? Just look at this volume, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely pitiful. One of the lowest volume and lowest volatility times that we've seen in this market in the recent past. Now, what we saw, just like we saw up here, was a ton, right? Up here, oh, ladies and gentlemen, this was absolute wick city. Just bots, liquidation hunter and stop loss hunter bots having an absolute field day in here. Really, any way that you tried to trade this range, you just wound up getting demolished. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Anybody using a tight liquidation point or a tight stop loss was feeling the wrath of this chop here. So then finally, the market movers decided it's time to go down. We went down and we got very much the same type of action down in this range, which made it a little difficult because these wicks really were making it tough to play in here. But if we look at this from a technical analysis perspective, a classical technical analysis perspective, what wound up happening is we found resistance where we would expect to see it for the macro trend here along our downward sloping trend line, at a point in the trend here where we had many peaks and support ranges that may have turned into a new resistance now. We saw that. We saw that if we flip on our RSIs went overextended at this point in time, and we traded around in a sideways chop. We then broke down, and then we found ourselves in this new range that we traded sideways in here, where now old support for the time being, it was also resistance at that time, but it was also support, right? We traded sideways in here for roughly a week. We then broke down, and we now use the underbelly of these candles here, exemplified by this red box, as old support becoming new resistance, and then we broke down from there. Let's get this crypto. So now where we stand here is a very interesting point in this trend, because my friends, we actually did hit my target. If you were listening and tuned in on the last stream that I did here, the target for me was all the way down to the bottom of this green box, which coincides with the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. So we did hit this target, and we are right now in a tentative new support range for Bitcoin. Some things to understand here. One, our RSI on the 4-hour is now overextended and into oversold territory. Could be an indicator that a potential relief rally bounce for the bulls is coming in the future. If we go over to our 1-hour, we can see our 1-hour RSI is heinously overextended at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen. The 1-hour RSI went all the way down to a 13 at the bottom there. Savage, heinous, and a borderline ludicrous debacle, if you do in fact ask me. And then if we look at our 1-day RSI, we can see we are in completely neutral territory here, currently at a 48.5 at the time of recording, which also shows that the bulls could have room to go to the upside. Let's get this crypto. Now, if we go back to the price action here, I want to show you all a very interesting type of cyclical occurrence that I've seen here, all right? So over here on the left, I have our Fibonacci extensions. Now, this is from the top of our run up, our current swing high at roughly 14,000, and these are our Fibonacci extensions for potential targets on the way back up after we dropped, right? So let's take a look at our prior run-ups, right? After we saw our top come in and our crash. Where did this second top come in at? Well, ladies and gentlemen, look back over here to the left. Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. Exactly to the 0.786 Fibonacci zone. Interesting, right? Doesn't mean all too much, but interesting. Then we drop back down and we run back up here, right? Our next big run. Sure, you could say, oh, Kirby, right here, right here. But this was nothing, ladies and gentlemen. This was a little relief bounce and then another crash, right? And we W'd all the way up to the top here. And where did this one stall out, ladies and gentlemen? Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. The 0.618 golden Fibonacci extension. So our two big swings, right? 1, 2, after our first initial swing failed, right? Our next two swings in a row tested the next Fibonacci extension levels, first being the 0.786 and second being the 0.618. So now we find ourselves in a very interesting spot here. If this trend was going to continue, or rather is going to continue, logically the 0.5 fib would be next in line, right? And the interesting thing here is that that is right there around the $11,500 region. I'm actually going to draw a box here so that we can see this. I'm going to make this a blue box here so that we can actually see the zone more clearly. There we go. So this, my friends, is for me, if that trend, that occurrence is going to continue, right, being that we're testing the Fibonacci extensions down in perfect order, it would make sense here that we find a bounce and look to potentially test back up to that 0.5 fib extension, which also would coincide with a lower high, which still is on our lower high trajectory, right? And wouldn't change the macro trend at all. And it would also follow that same pattern that we've been seeing time and time again here inside this market. So Bitcoin right now, at least at the time of recording, is showing some more sell pressure here, currently dropping below 10,800, but it's really irrelevant. Depends when you're watching this analysis here. The big important takeaway is that we're in this range here. And this range for me is essentially between the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement and the 0.5 retracement. And from price point perspectives, that's roughly 10,750 all the way up to 11,200. Let's get this crypto. So if this range does not hold, I think it's very likely that we could test much further down. Logically, the next is the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, which on my chart is roughly around 10,341, and which would be a current from roughly where we're at now, an additional almost 4% move to the downside. But right now, what my focus is here is that I need to see if the bulls can hold this region, right? Lots of historic confluence in this range. You guys see lots of prior resistances, prior supports, etc., which does make this level, in addition to the retracements in here, in addition to essentially looking for new levels of higher highs to be created on a macro level, this is an area of interest for me, because up until this point, the best that we've done since reaching our prior swing high is make a double bottom, right? Up until that point, it was lower low after lower low, and finally we had a neutral bottom here, which has sent us back up. If we want to see this actually develop into a macro bullish trend, what we're going to want here is to convert this from lower lows to then that double neutral bottom there, and then a new higher low. You see, right? You want this rounding bottom trajectory. If we break this and we break down, that would not be very good, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, to test that flat line of bottom support here yet again, because then we can all see here what looks like it's forming, in my opinion, and that is a tentative descending triangle, which we should all know by now is certainly a classical bearish pattern with lower highs and a flat line of support along the bottom, just like we have here, which they do love to break to the downside. And a infamous example of this is actually from 2018, before Bitcoin capitulated down into the depths of the crypto abyss. Let's get this crypto. Now, if this level does not hold, like I just pointed out, my next logical target is the 0.618 Fibonacci. And there certainly is some confluence here, right? We see that the 0.618 also lines up with this 0.236 extension. And that whole range in and of itself does have some decent price action, right? I don't want to say it's amazing or anything, but there is certainly enough there that we could find bullish support, in my opinion. It's possible. But really, ladies and gentlemen, if this level does not hold, right? If the green box does not hold, which we are right upon the brink of collapsing through right now, if that does not hold, this blue box here around the 0.618, this to me, ladies and gentlemen, is the last hope, the last hoorah if the bulls want to show any type of momentum here, because dropping below this level here, which is roughly below the $10,200 vicinity, we are certainly flirting with retesting this bottom area here. And if we do that again, ladies and gentlemen, this will now be 3 swing highs with 3 touch points along the top, and now would be essentially our 1, 2, 3, 4, and now looking for a tentative 5th touch point along the bottom of a very risky descending triangle bearish pattern here, which does have the opportunity to break to the downside, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. Just looking forward just a little bit, right? If we are to break down out of there, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that would be more so indicative that we could see an entire retracement there back down, you know, at least, in my opinion, at least to fill that CME futures gap around 8,500 that I've shown you guys for quite some time. If you're not familiar, I'll just show you this quickly, but if you are subscribed here and you tick the bell, you should know about this one by now. There is still a gap here on the futures chart around 8,500. Sure, these gaps do not need to fill, but they have filled a ton of times in the past. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but historically they've liked to fill. So that is also looming in the shadows there. I just really want to point this out, ladies and gentlemen, that right now this is a very interesting scenario here for the bulls, because they either have to take a stand here, or it really appears to the Don Carbonaccio that the bears are back in control here. And like I said, at least on the local time frames here with the RSIs, right, we're seeing this would be the time we would see a relief bounce, in my opinion, right? Especially that 4-hour looks like that. The 1 hour, it's comical, ladies and gentlemen. 13 on the 1 hour, that is comical. That would be the point that I would look for something. And like I said, on the daily RSI here as well, we are still very neutral. So, you know, tentative movements to the upside should not be ruled out of the equation at this point in time. Let's get this crypto. Before I forget, I also want to show you guys this, the RSI here, or excuse me, the RSI, the NVT. Now, this is a very controversial indicator here, and that's because many have said, "Oh, Kirby, it's no longer relevant. You see, there's side chains, Kirby, and the Lightning Network, and..." Listen, this indicator is measuring on-chain volume, right? And I understand, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people keep their crypto on exchanges, so it's not moving around on the blockchain, but you must understand, this has been very, very historically accurate, time and time again inside this market. And it's being accurate right now. We drop below this level, right? And upon dropping below this level, where were we? Let's just look. I just want to show you. Upon dropping below that region, we plunged from our high at nearly 14,000 all the way down to 9,000, a 33% retracement upon, crashing below this line. And these moon boys, ladies and gentlemen, these average Joes and James at the water coolers, they want to tell Don Carbonaccio that this indicator, it's outdated, Kirby, you know. And what have I been calling, ladies and gentlemen? That if this drops below here, watch out for this old level of support to now become new resistance and tentatively look to drive us deeper down into the crypto abyss. And look what's happening right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's briefly back tested that support. It is now acting as a tentative new resistance. And what's happening in the price? What is happening in the price, ladies and gentlemen? Boom. Right there again, we're seeing a new tentative resistance in the price chart, reflected exactly at the point with the NVT. So please, James, you rapscallion son of a moon, don't tell Don that indicator is outdated, because what I'm telling you is that I still like what I'm seeing here. If that changes, sure, I'll change with it. But for right now, I see no reason that this isn't still looking like a valid indicator to me. Let's get this crypto. Now, I want to discuss Bitcoin dominance and the altcoin market briefly here, ladies and gentlemen, so let's dive right into that. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Sheesh. And just before we go into the altcoins and the Bitcoin dominance, I hope that you all see my ranges outlined here for very critical, pivotal points in the trend here. And I'm going to be trading these ranges aggressively here. As you all know, I've been waiting like a ninja in the shadows, right? This range was very wicky. I tried to take some positions here early on. I stopped once I saw the wicking action was so insane. Right now, we had very much of the same in here. And now, where we currently are at in the trend, right here, right now, is where Don is seeing opportunity arise here once again. And I'm going to be trading it aggressively. So if you want to see all of my trades in real time, as I plan to crush the market and get this crypto, I will be keeping you updated in VIP around the clock 24/7 as I make my trades, plot my strategies, take my entries, take my profits, etc. I will be posting it all for you in VIP. So if you want to see all of my trades and how I'm trading this market in real time, you will find it in VIP. Shout out to my VIPs and shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. Now, moving over to the altcoins. So briefly first, Bitcoin dominance. Back at a 68. Really, ladies and gentlemen, this is still at one of the highest points we've seen in years. Years with an S, right? We're almost back up to pre-parabolic madness levels, which is roughly, in the 80 vicinity. Back for the past several years, Bitcoin is loved to be down below 50, and that's why the altcoins have gotten so much love. But right now, really, let's take it from the bottom here. Since May 7th, 2018, Bitcoin has just really gone up. This is over a year of straight parabolic rise to the upside in the Bitcoin dominance level. To me, ladies and gentlemen, this is a testament to the large cap of Bitcoin. It's the most liquid. It is the most trusted. It's the most used. It has the most margin and leverage capabilities around it based upon what exchanges that you're using. And right now, I think the altcoin market is in a very risky area here. Sure, you could look at that from the contrary and say that, oh, Kirby, well, you see it as risk, but I see it as opportunity because these projects are going to change the world. All right, James, you know what? You keep living in that fantasy bubble moon boy mentality, my friend. I think they got the LMS, ladies and gentlemen. You remember the LMS? The lunar mind syndrome? The syndrome where when you look and stare at these charts, you stare at your bag being down 90% over and over again. That your brain starts to actually convert into fragments of the moon. They've got the LMS, ladies and gentlemen, because right here, right now, Don Carbonaccio is seeing that this, in my opinion, is the last hope for the altcoins right here, ladies and gentlemen. If this red box is purged, if this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement is purged, it looks like a swift target for me down, ladies and gentlemen, back to the lows. I mean, back to the lows. What are we talking about here? If maybe we could draw a box in here, right? But I don't see much in terms of why. But sure, maybe this could be our target range here. But we're still talking about, ladies and gentlemen, from where we are at now, if that range is broken, over 30% to the downside here for the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, aka just the altcoins. We're going to need to see momentum pick up from the bulls in the altcoin market, or my friends, I think that this could be a very, very precarious situation here for the altcoins moving forward. So right now, my focus personally is still on Bitcoin, short and long. This is where I'm seeing most of the opportunity. And you guys know these swings, when they rip, right? When they rip up and down, not this little soup in a sandwich action that we have in here. Oh, Kirby, look. None of this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about these swings, right? The large swings in this market, up and down, right? Massive percentages, right? You know, this is where potentially life-changing opportunity arises. And right now I'm seeing that we are likely on the brink of another large swing, in my opinion, and I'm ready to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. So right now, don't be sweating, don't be trembling like a leaf in the wind, don't be, oh, Kirby Owen, to me. Don't be crying to the Don, okay? It's time to settle down, take a deep breath, and understand that this market, the volatility is coming back. Hopefully we see volume coming back. I mean, today, finally, we've got a little bit of volume here. But over the past 2 weeks, the volume has been incredibly lackluster, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the worst volume and volatility we've seen in months. So right now, while others are sleeping on Bitcoin, sleeping on crypto again, right? They're back at the water cooler, probably talking about what you're going to watch on TV tonight, James, right? Oh, you know, I forgot about those Bitcoin things I bought, James. You know, they forget about it, ladies and gentlemen. Their soup and a sandwich, $25 worth of Bitcoins, don't seem so fun when we get stuck in these equilibrium ranges. But the fact of the matter is that when we reach these times like this is where the savages strategize, plot, and get ready to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. Because if you fail to plan, then your plan is to fail. And Don Carbonaccio does not fail to plan. Don Carbonaccio plans to succeed. And I will be keeping you up to date with my personal plans, my entries, my exits, my targets, my strategies in VIP. Like I said, if we get a bullish relief rally up, what is your plan? I know that I'm formulating mine right here, right now to crush this market if we rip up. And I'm going to be posting it for you in VIP. And just on the opposite end, if we break down, what is your plan here? Are you going to crush this market? Do you have a plan in mind, or are you just flying here by the seat of your pants, ready to get wrecked and get caught off guard, caught like a deer in the headlights when the trend comes around with a vengeance? So my friend, today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP. Right now, I'm going to keep you updated with my plans for both directions, right here, right now. 24/7 around the clock. I can only be here on YouTube once per day for you all, but in VIP, I post around the clock as I make my trades, plot my entries, take my exits, take my profits, etc. So I will see you in VIP. I will be posting all my trades in real time for you there. I'm ready to crush this market. Are you? Let's get this crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my absolute pleasure. If you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Prepare for serious volatility because, my friends, I believe that our little break here. This little holiday of volatility is about to end, in my opinion, and the trend is about to pick up steam. I need to get back to my VIPs right now. I need to get back to my trades right now. The market appears to be moving as I'm recording here right now. My friends, I'm ready to get this crypto. Are you? Let's get it. I'll see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs and shout out to all of my new future VIPs joining VIP right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.